Welcome back to the deep dive. We are tackling a topic today that, for many of you, causes just so much unnecessary stress,
Yeah, a lot of anxiety.
especially when you're navigating professional or social life in English. I'm talking about small talk.
Hmm.
If you've ever walked away from one of those short, casual conversations feeling drained or awkward or
Hmm.
just plain fake,
Right.
then this deep dive is pretty much custom made for you.
That feeling of fakeness, that's the exact pain point we're trying to eliminate today. We've synthesized, a whole stack of sources from linguistic studies to etiquette guides, and our mission is to pull out the simple, actionable steps you need.
Okay.
We want to show you how to start, how to continue, and then how to end small talk naturally so these interactions feel effortless, not like a mandatory script you have to recite.
Okay, so let's unpack this core idea from the sources right away, because for me, this was the immediate aha moment that just reframes the whole approach.
Yeah, let's do it. The sources are unanimous. Small talk isn't about being interesting. It's not about being witty or having a brilliant story ready. Nope.
It's fundamentally just about being comfortable.
That mindset shift it's transformative. It really is. It
Hmm.
moves the focus from, I have to perform and impress this person to, I just need to exist comfortably next to this person for a minute.
Right, just exist.
And when you realize that pressure to be interesting is completely artificial, the anxiety just
Hmm.
it drops. By the end of this conversation, you'll have simple, stress-free ways to manage these brief but, absolutely crucial social interactions.
So let's start where the problem usually begins. Why does small talk feel like a performance in the first place, especially when you're speaking a second language? Why is it so exhausting? The sources, they pinpoint two major drivers for that fake feeling. The first one is something we all fall into,
Mm.
the safe question trap.
Oh, yeah. When learners are focused on being correct and polite, they often just memorize a set of standard, sort of generic openers.
We're talking about the classics here. How are you? What do you
Mhm.
do? And the all-time champion. Nice weather today.
Exactly.
We learn them because they're technically correct, but in a real conversation, they often feel like they're actively failing us.
They aren't wrong questions, but they become ineffective when they're used like a transaction, not a genuine invitation.
Right, like a password.
The sources note that when these questions are delivered with no real emotion, no follow-up, they're completely empty. They just signal I'm performing my social duty, not I actually see you.
That reminds me of this quick anecdote I read in one of the articles. It was a business traveler who said that at one conference, he had five different people ask him what you do inside of 20 minutes.
Wow.
And because the asker just immediately moved on after his one sentence answer, the repetition made the whole thing feel automated.
Exactly, that transactional feeling we're trying to avoid.
Yeah. And that lack of connection, it just fuels the second pressure point.
Yeah.
This feeling that you have to make your small talk clever or impressive. So many people think they need to drop some like high value nugget of information. And if we look at this from a native speaker perspective, that pressure is just, it's entirely misplaced.
Completely.
Most native speakers don't see a 30-second chat as an opportunity for like self-promotion. For them, small talk is simply a bridge.
A bridge, I like that.
It's just a low-effort way to acknowledge someone's presence, maybe gauge if there's interest in a deeper chat, but it is not the main event.
A bridge, not a performance. That is a really critical distinction.
Yeah.
It defines the scope of the whole thing.
But I have to push back a little here. If we get rid of the performance and the cleverness, how do we make sure we don't sound boring?
Right.
If small talk is just a bridge, what's it built on? What's the mindset shift that makes it feel natural? This is the core insight from all the material, and it's such a powerful way to reframe it. Small talk is defined as shared noticing. Shared noticing.
It's simply observing something, a moment, a circumstance that you both inhabit,
Yeah.
and then just saying that observation out loud.
And it's so important to clarify what it is not. It is not sharing your deep opinions.
No.
It is not telling long, complicated stories that need deep engagement. If you try to carry those heavy loads across that brief little bridge of small talk, that's when it gets overwhelming and just awkward for everyone.
Shared noticing works because it's simple, it's immediate, and it's totally stress-free.
Yeah.
Let's look at a few examples from the sources to make this idea more concrete. We're just commenting on what's right in front of us.
Okay, like noticing an environmental thing. You walk into a crowded cafe and say, wow, this place is always busy on a Tuesday, isn't it?
Exactly. You're not trying to solve the problem of crowding.
No.
You're just stating a joint observation.
Or at the office, maybe commenting on a shared feeling or workload, something like, Mondays always feel extra long, don't they? Or everyone seems tired today. You're bonding over a really low-stakes shared reality.
Yeah. And I really like the examples about shared tasks. Like, you leave a mandatory company training and say, that meeting went faster than I thought, thank goodness.
Right. You get instant rapport because you both know exactly what you're talking about, and it requires zero invention on your part.
The key takeaway here is that when you notice something, honestly, something that's true for both of you, right here, right now, it just automatically sounds human and present. It never sounds fake. Okay, so that's the philosophy, shared noticing. Let's move to the practical side of things. We need better, more natural small talk starters that push us past that tired, how are you?
Absolutely. So we can kind of categorize the effective starters, the ones natives really use, into two main groups.
All right, give us the first category.
The first is situation-based starters. These are questions that are a little more direct than the generic ones, but the key is they invite a real low-stakes answer about their immediate status right now.
So you're focusing on the last hour, not their whole life story.
Exactly. What do these sound like in practice?
Instead of that robotic, how are you, which just gets you fine, thank you, you could try, how's your day been so far? Or maybe just busy morning.
I like that. It's casual, and it invites a real response beyond that programmed answer. You're asking for a slice of the present moment. Wait, but if I ask, busy morning, how do I make sure that doesn't sound like a complaint or something? What do the sources say about tone?
That's an excellent question. The material really emphasizes a lighthearted tone and a lack of expectation. You have to deliver it with an open, kind of curious tone, not a heavy, demanding one.
Okay.
You can even make it a slight joke like, just getting started or already tired.
That immediately sets a light, informal mood and makes it feel less like an interview.
Got it. Focus on the immediate moment. Keep the tone light. What about the second category of starters?
The second one is observation starters, which are just the direct application of that shared noticing idea. You're just stating a fact about the environment that you both know is true.
So instead of the vague, nice weather today, which gets a one-word answer.
You make it specific and comparative, like, it's a lot colder than yesterday, isn't it?
Exactly. Or you can personalize it to the place you're in. This line for coffee is moving slower than I expected. Or maybe just observing the general vibe. Everyone seems to be rushing around this morning.
These observation starters are great because they create that shared moment with zero pressure. If the other person just nods and agrees, hey, the communication succeeded.
The bridge was acknowledged. You can both move on.
Yeah.
But this is where the conversational flow often breaks down for people. They can start the small talk, but then they panic about what comes next.
Oh, totally. The pressure to keep the interrogation going, even when they've only said 2 words back. To get rid of that panic, there's a simple 2-part rule for continuing the conversation, and this is so important for comfort. React plus ask. Optional, and the emphasis is on the react part.
The emphasis has to be on the react component. When you react, you validate what they just said, you show empathy, you confirm you were listening. This is the difference between a transaction and a real interaction.
Okay, so give me an example.
If they respond to your opener with, yeah, meetings all morning, you don't need another question. Your reaction could just be, ugh, yeah, same here, long week, right?
So I'm not interviewing, I'm relating. I'm matching their experience with my own. That's the essence of it. That's shared noticing in the next phase. If they mention something challenging, you just react with validation. Oh, really? That sounds busy. I hope you get a break soon.
You know, I've noticed native speakers use a ton of this filler that isn't questions, but it's vital for connection. It's conversational glue. Natural follow-ups are phrases like, that makes sense, or I get that, or yeah, I felt that too, or just totally. And when you use those, you're mirroring their pace and their emotional state. If they're stressed, you're acknowledging it. It's low effort, high impact empathy, and that's what makes it feel human.
And speaking of pace, we should also remember that silence and pauses are completely okay. They're normal. The sources really stress that trying to fill every single second of space is what makes it all feel so unnatural. Natives, take a breath.
You are not on a stopwatch. You're just taking a breath and giving them space to contribute if they want to, but without putting them on the spot.
All right, so now that we know how to start and continue, let's look at what we should actively avoid. The things that, according to our sources, just completely derail small talk.
Yeah, the sources list three main behaviors that are like conversational red flags. The first is over-interviewing.
Asking too many questions in a row.
Exactly. Firing off direct questions without offering any reaction or observation of your own. It just flips it right back into that interrogation feeling.
Which is the opposite of comfortable. Okay, what's number two? Number two is oversharing. You want to avoid turning light small talk into a deep, emotional life story. Remember the mantra. The bridge isn't meant to carry a heavy load.
Right.
If the conversation naturally goes deeper because you find some really cool common ground, that's great. But you should never force the depth. Keep it light. And the third point is maybe the most important one for anyone who might be striving for that, textbook perfection. It's no perfect grammar focus.
Yes.
The rule here is so clear. Natural is better than perfect. If you spend 10 seconds in your head trying to form the grammatically perfect sentence, you've already missed the moment. You've missed the shared noticing.
Totally. It is so much better to speak a little imperfectly but sound present and human than to sound perfectly correct but, like, absent and rehearsed.
So the interaction should be light. If it goes deeper naturally, great, but never force it.
And finally, the exit. Just like starting, a lot of people worry about how to exit smoothly without being rude. They feel like they need a big excuse.
Oh yeah, we've all been there, feeling like you need to invent an urgent phone call just to escape. No apology or invention needed. The sources detail the natural endings natives use, and they're quick and respectful. One of the most common is just signaling the end of the transaction. Anyway, I should get back to this.
Sure.
Simple states the change, not rude. Or the simple and appreciative exit. Nice chatting with you, have a good one. And what about the one that's really graceful? For the really graceful exit, the phrase that removes the focus from you and puts it on them is, well, I'll let you go. I like that. It assumes they're busy and their time is valuable. It makes the ending polite, clean, and respectful. So the final note on ending is crucial. No apology needed. You don't have to say, I'm so sorry I have to run. Ending a casual chat politely is normal. It's not an offense. Okay, so let's run through a quick practice round right now, just to sort of solidify these ideas, especially that react plus ask optional structure. Okay, I'll start. Let's imagine we're waiting in a long security line at an airport. I'll use an observation-based opener. I look over and say, long day of travel ahead. I'd respond honestly, but briefly. Just a small contribution. Yeah, had meetings all morning first, so it's gonna be a push. Okay, now I react. I reinforce the shared noticing, I validate your situation, but I don't ask another draining question. I'd say, oh, same here. Those quick turnarounds really drain your energy. And I just agree, confirm the connection, totally. Need a coffee just to survive the gate wait. And that's it. That is the entire exchange. That's real small talk.
Yeah.
We establish presence, we acknowledge the shared environment, the shared feeling of being drained, and we moved on. No pressure. It was brief, but it felt natural because it was honest. It felt human. And that brings us to our final summary. Remember the most important takeaway from all this. The goal of small talk is not about sounding smart or clever or having perfect grammar. The bridge is low. It's easy to walk across. It doesn't demand fireworks.
It's simply about sounding human, acknowledging a shared reality, and just being present.
So the next time you find yourself in one of these situations, just throw out the script. Don't try to be perfect. Just be present.
Yeah, the pressure's off when you remember you're just noticing something together. If you feel that urge to ask a safe question, just stop yourself, look around, and share the first honest observation that comes to mind.
And I want to leave you with this final thought to mull over. Building on this power of shared noticing. If small talk is just shared noticing, what is one thing you noticed today? Maybe it's the buzz of the air conditioner, the quiet hallway, or that everyone's wearing blue that you might usually keep to yourself. How often do we withhold that tiny bit of connection just because we judge our own observation as not interesting enough to share? Think about that small withheld connection and maybe next time, share it. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll catch you on the next one.